Tuesday morning, I had an important job to do. I had made a promise to somebody that I would take them to lunch as soon as they felt able. A very dear friend of mine who has worked for JEGS for 22 years as a high-performance parts salesman and specialist has had a rough past year and a half. Last year, he survived COVID, then lost his father, and then most recently, 6 weeks ago to the day, Uncle Terry went down with an acute case of cellulitis that went septic. I've tried to keep an eye on Terry. I've called him, I messaged him, and I said, listen, the instant you feel up to going to lunch, I'll be there. Well, Uncle Terry called yesterday. So today, 6 weeks to the day that he went down sick, we go to Tumbleweed for lunch. My treat. After lunch, I decided to take Terry back to the shop, introduce him to my brother, and show him all the progress we've made on Vicky's 64 C-10. We usually see Terry once or twice a week, every week, but for the last 6 weeks, I haven't seen him at all. So we go inside, and Jeremy's been working on welding up holes and repairing rust in this cab of the old 64. I introduce him to Terry, and they hit it off pretty good. Now, my brother Jeremy and Uncle Terry are a lot alike. They're both pack rats. They don't throw anything away. Anyway, I showed Terry the wheels and tires on the truck, and then me and Kenny got busy working on the Malibu for a few minutes. I've got quite a bit of stuff I want to get done to it before I take it to Lucor tomorrow. I ended up taking Terry home in the Suburban and left the Malibu back at the shop for Kenny to work on while I was gone. I decided to go ahead and leave the electric fan on the radiator and do away with the fan shroud. So I told Kenny just go ahead and make some new brackets to mount the radiator to the core support. So Kenny worked on that while I took Terry back to the house. After I dropped Terry off, I ran down to Buckeye Lake to see Mark to pick up some electrical supplies. And it turns out I get accused of setting Mark up for failure. He says there's people coming in trying to play Stump the Chump, and one person in particular had his dander up. So what did you do? You sold my dad something now? You got my dad coming in here?
So I get a call yesterday, or a gentleman walks in, and he's looking for a headlight switch for a 1946 John Deere tractor. So I'm like, okay.
Stump the Chump.
Here we go. So we get in.
You know these guys are coming because of me, right?
So I get in there, and sure enough, I find it. So I had it today, but in the meantime, I got the gentleman's information. Well, here, it's your dad. So then I really thought I was being set up. So anyway, but yeah, he come in and we got his switch, and now he can get headlights on his 1946 John Deere. So
he didn't stump the chump.
He did not stump the chump. Nope.
Son of a...
Didn't happen.
I'll get you one day, Mark.
No, you won't.
So after I got done down at Mark's, I come back to the shop and I got busy trying to get this Malibu ready to go to Lucor. I wanted to get a Tach mounted in it and a handful of other little things. And while I'm working on the Malibu, Jeremy's finishing up trying to get these patches done on the top of the cab on Vicky's C-10. After about an hour trying to figure out where to mount the Tach and the gauges, I came to the conclusion that the A-pillar was probably the best place for the Tach. I don't have to drill any holes and just used a factory screw hole to mount it. So once I had everything done, I decided to take the car up the road and make sure it was roadworthy to make the trip to Lucor tomorrow morning. At about 2 o'clock in the morning, I got a text message from Billy asking if I would help him push his Nova up on the trailer the next morning so he could take it in to get it wired. I told him I'd be there. So this morning, I helped him get the trailer hooked up to his dually, and then I followed him down to his shop with my helpers in tow to go help him and Big Rob push his Nova up on the trailer. From what I understand, the car is almost ready to fire up. Some wiring and plumbing is all that stands in the way of firing that big block up and tuning it on the dyno. Once Billy moved the Falcon out of the way, the three of us shoved the Nova outside, Billy took some pictures of it, and then we pushed it up on the trailer. The car looks really good. I think he and Rob have done a fantastic job on the turbo kit. Anyway, once we got the car loaded up, I ran up to Mom and Dad's to pick up some parts for the Malibu, and then went back to my shop, where I found Vicky in total disarray. She's been locked out of her Facebook and nearly threw a fit with me. You in a better mood now?
No, I'm putting on a good face for the camera.
Oh, I guarantee you that.
Eat it! I'm not gonna be caught having a fit. Come on.
You already got caught having a fit. You clubbed me in the head twice, and then threatened me with a chair.
He was provoking anger,
Oh.
and he got it.
I was filming something that was already angry.
He was laughing at me being angry, and it made me more angry. Hey, I'm bringing cookies to the dog.
Hell hath no fury like a woman locked out of her own Facebook. Anyway, when I got back to the shop, everybody showed up at about the same time. Miss Harley, Jeremy, and the UPS truck, which brought my new hubcaps for the C-10. Kenny started putting them on, and when we got done, he's like, man, we got to roll this thing outside and see what this looks like. I got to tell you, it looks really, really good with the factory C-10 hubcaps. These are reproductions I bought on eBay, but they look really nice. Jeremy immediately got started working on the dash, and I made my final preparations for the trip to Lucor Automotive on the west side of Columbus. I topped off all the fluids, checked oil pressure, and we headed out. Me and the dogs in the Malibu and Kenny Powers following behind in the dually. I wound the Malibu up on the freeway and stuck it in overdrive at about 76 or 77 miles an hour. It only registers 1600 RPM on the Tach at 77. The dogs settled in, and it was a nice, enjoyable ride all the way through downtown Columbus, over to the west side of 270, and we headed north up to 33. The car ran nice and cool, good oil pressure, no problems, all the way up to Marysville. We hopped off on 33, went over to Post Road, and made our way over to Lucor Automotive, where Rich and the guys were waiting on us. I parked the Malibu out back and then went into the office to check in with them and let them know we're here. Evidently, Mark's got my dogs spoiled rotten down there at A1. Anytime they come through the door, they immediately start looking for a treat jar. But there wasn't one to be found over at Lucor. Anyway, we toured the place a little bit, and then I went outside and found Rich backing Knowles Cutlass into a parking spot near the Malibu. He had just finished up working on it, and he said he's ready to pull the Malibu straight into the shop. All right, Uncle Bucko, what have you accomplished today?
Put your piece of crap radio face in.
You told me it fit perfect.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. You said it fits perfect.
It fit like a piece of probably got done whittling it down to something that was manageable.
What was the problem with the sheet metal that I purchased this time?
It didn't fit.
It looks like it fits great.
That's because I'm a badass.
What?
Yeah, you heard it.
Well, does the ashtray fit?
Barely. Crooked.
What?
Yeah, it's crooked.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It better not be.
Well, it is.
You'll have to redo it.
No, it ain't me. You're gonna have to take it back to wherever the hell you got that thing at.
It looks like it fits in there pretty good. What are you doing? Digging in your garbage?
Parts that didn't fit. You're gonna get a shot of that.
All right, so what's next for tomorrow?
Finish the welding on the top of the cab. We can start scuffing the inside, getting it ready for paint.
Is the floor pans done now?
Yeah.
Can I check that off the freaking to-do list?
Yeah, you can check that shit off.
Good Lord. Did you test fit the cluster and the dash to make sure it fits now?
Not yet.
I had a heck of a time getting that cluster out of the dash, but I'm not going to say a word to him. It's not fun. But if there's something you can do to make it more fun, i.e. easier, maybe it's just because you modified the dash.
No. Right, some hillbilly's already been in here once.
What? Is that a cut on me?
No, that's just a cut on half-assers in general. But you are lead half-asser.
Well, it fits.
Thanks to me.
So tomorrow, we replace the steel on the top of the roof. You've already done that. We just need to finish it, right?
Yeah, I just gotta finish filling in some holes and...
And Kenny's already got the tank sealed.
Yeah, did you check the sealer to see how it looks?
I haven't looked at it. So the tank's sealed. We're almost done inside. All you gotta do is a little body work there on the dash. And then we can scuff and paint the interior. And then I can call my windshield guy and say, hey, windshield guy, I'm windshieldless.
That much closer to driving it.
Yes. I just got off the phone with Uncle Terry.
Vintage AC.
Yeah. He's gonna get me my vintage air kit so we can get that installed.
How long is that gonna take to get?
I don't know. I'll find out tomorrow when he calls him.
Probably wanna get that coming before we paint
I
it.
just told you. I just got off the phone with Uncle Terry. He's ordering it tomorrow. Is that quick enough for you?
No.
Dude, the sheet metal work's taken like 2 weeks.
We've only been working on the truck for 2.5. It sat here for a week while you made decisions.
No,
Ordered
that's
the-
not true.
And ordered the wrong parts.
That's not... What
Or
order?
ordered cheap parts.
They were available, weren't they? I got them, didn't I?
Probably took me less time to make them from hand.
I know I give Jeremy a hard time, but the truth of the matter is, while I was gone taking that Malibu in to Lucor today, he worked his butt off to get this dash cut out and get this new patch repair panel fitted back in like it should be. From cutting it out, to drilling out the spot welds, to fitment, he really did a good job. It was a lot of work. Pretty tedious also. Jeremy's a natural at metalworking. He doesn't do this stuff every day. It's just been every once in a while over the last 20 some years that he's been working on cars and trucks for people. He's a mechanic by trade, right? Metal fabrication and that kind of thing is something that he just does every once in a while. But you'd never know it to watch him work. All right, everybody, welcome back. So, Jeremy's gotten a lot done the last couple of days on this cab. Both the floor pans are done. The dash is almost done. The top of the cab is almost done. It just takes a lot of time to do this stuff. It really does. Even if you do it every day, like someone who does this stuff for a living every single day could do it faster and probably knock it out a lot faster. But we're not professionals, right? We're just pretty much everyday people like everybody else. And, you know, it takes a little bit more time when you don't do it every day, when you're not accustomed to doing it every day. But as you do this stuff more and more often, you get better at it, you get faster. And we're learning, all of us, we're all learning, especially me, because I'm learning not to buy cheap sheet metal. But in all honesty, it didn't fit too bad. I think Jeremy's just being a little grouchy. So anyway, tomorrow I think tomorrow we're gonna work on the C-10 some more, work on some things here in the shop. I know that I borrowed that engine run stand from a friend of mine and he called me tonight and he needs it back. So I may end up needing to load that up on the trailer and the skid loader, take that thing back down to Buckeye Lake where I got it from. So that may be something we get into tomorrow. Not entirely sure just yet. I would imagine Lucor is going to have the Malibu until probably at least Friday. I'm hoping I can have it back for the weekend because I'm ready to start testing and tuning on that car, and I need to start looking for some wheels. I'm going to try and get a hold of Mr. Bumpus from RC Comp. He helped us out immensely on a set of wheels on Billy's S10. And we did not expect him to do that. He did that entirely out of the goodness of his heart. So if there's anybody I would like to work with on purchasing a new set of wheels, it would be Mr. Bumpus at RC Comp. So I'm going to look into that. I want to put some big and littles on the Malibu, dress it up a little bit, and I want to get the windows tinted. I got a line on somebody that can possibly do that tonight. Old Melvin Frederick just had some windows done in his truck, and the guy did a pretty good job. So I'm going to try and get a hold of that fella, see if maybe I can't get him to come out once I get this Malibu back and get the windows tinted. Also, I want to work on building a shifter mount that actually would bolt to the floor under the bench seat and kind of come forward, up, and above the seat a little bit to mount that quarter stick shifter. I do not want to drill holes in the floor where you can visually see it out on the transmission tunnel. If I'm going to drill holes or do something like that, I'd rather do it under the seat. And the way the seat is situated in that car with the dash, if Vicky needs to move the seat forward, I'm afraid the seat would run into the shifter. So the shifter needs to be raised up off the floor and back over the seat so the seat can be moved forward and back without any problem there. You never know who's going to end up driving that thing, right? So I'm really excited to get that Malibu back. I can't wait to drive it with 373s. We were going 77 miles an hour on the interstate, and it was all I could do to get it to just lock the converter in overdrive and go, and it pulled the engine down to like 1600 RPM. It's terrible. And with the converter unlocked, it's really loose. It slips pretty good, in all honesty. The converter, I think, will foot brake stall to probably 3,500 RPM, I would say. So it is fairly loose, but with a 700 R4, you got to have the converter a little bit loose because the second to third gear change, the gear change, is pretty nasty. I mean, it's a big drop in RPM from second to third gear. So the converter needs to be a little bit loose for a 700 R4, maybe a little bit more so than a turbo 350 or a turbo 400. So I'm not too concerned, and if I do have problems with a converter, Circle D. That's who I'm calling. So, with that being said, I think that's about all for tonight. I appreciate you all. Thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, and everything. And, of course, buying the merchandise. It's been incredible. With that being said, a lot of emails. Harley is able to read my emails in my personal email now, so she can start getting back with. For some reason, some of these emails about merchandise don't go back through the Shopify account. They come to my personal email. Not all of them. I don't understand why that is. Got to get to the bottom of that. But Harley's going to start working on the emails tomorrow, getting back with everybody. I know everybody's itching, wanting their stuff. But listen, I told everybody this is a pre-order deal up front. There was going to be delays, and we had no idea we'd have this many sales. I had no idea. So Gina's trying to get caught up. We're trying to get caught up. The shelves are about bare over here right now. I think Harley's been flooding the post office here lately. So be patient, guys. I promise we haven't forgot you. We'll get to you. Good night, everybody.